kwentuhan, manalbetamugan, painawaman o mamangan. Taga Central Luzon, let's carry on. Tagalog man o Kapampangan. It's a beautiful night and you are on spotlight.
Magandang araw mga kaibigan, samahan ninyo ako sa isang oras na paghahanap sa nagniningning na liwanag ng ating natatanging panamuhin na may natatangi at kamanghamanghang tagumpay. Dito lamang po sa Spotlight. Mga kaibigan, tutok lamang po kayo at ma-inspire sa kauna-unahang Pilipino na nakarating sa finish line sa Western States Endurance Run sa Amerika. Ladies and gentlemen, Spotlight is honored to have with us the person who doesn't know the meaning of giving up. Mga kaibigan, Attorney Jonifer John Lacanlale. John, kamusta?
Iowa. Hi, good afternoon.
Oh my God, you know, John, when our writer Randy was telling us about your story, grabe, you inspire us. You know, it's amazing. Mga kaibigan, wag po kayong maglilipat ng channel kasi this is one story that you should really listen to, no? Actually, minsan, nakaka-relate ako kasi in my life, I did some really crazy things na no giving up,
All
no?
right, I understand.
Anyway, John, you're from Pampanga, no?
Yes, I am. And
born and raised in Pampanga.
I was born in Manila.
Ah, okay.
But both of my parents are from Pampanga.
Where in Pampanga?
My father's side, they're from Apalit.
Apalit.
And then mother's side in Minalin.
In Minalin.
So pure.
Okay. Wow. But you were born were you raised in Manila na?
Yeah, partly. But from time to time, summer,
I see.
we go here. You
Okay.
know.
Education. Saan ka nag-aral ng elementary, high school, and college?
I studied in the elementary in Macabebe,
I see.
Pampanga. Okay, and then high school same,
Uh-huh.
and then in college I went to Manila for both the pre-law and the law.
I see. Which school?
Law I went to University of the East.
I see. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. The reason why we are interested so much in your story is because of your amazing victory, amazing triumphant experience in America, no? So, as a runner, you call yourself a runner, no?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, what we want to know, John, is in your younger days, did you like sports?
I think I was a typical kid,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
and that surprises me. Looking back, no, it surprises me. But I think in hindsight, I really love, you know, being outside.
Outdoors talaga.
Outdoors, no. Unfortunately, when I was growing up, there wasn't much to look up to. Not so much persons to look up to in terms of, you know, that sports and etc.
Walang maraming coach na
Wala,
nagpo-coach, no?
even before, I think running wasn't that very popular.
It's just basketball.
Basketball, I don't know, disco, as you mentioned before this.
Yung preoccupation ng mga tao hindi ganyan.
Exactly.
Not like today, everyone is into running, no?
When you hear of when you hear of running, it's more of the Asian Game, Olympics. No? Other than that, wala na.
Mga long
But ngayon,
distance, wala
wow,
na.
it's really at its peak.
Okay, when you were young, were you passionate in proving something all the time? Kasi usually mga stories na ganyan may mga pinaghugutan yan sa kanilang kabataan or something, you know, like you wanted to prove yourself in this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
Were there any experiences like that?
I think wala naman. I think it's more of I just have this I don't know, just this personality type na when I aim for something, I'll never give up until I reach that, until I get it. So I think I carry that over to even to sports.
Yes. Okay. When you were in school, were you more athletic than academic, or more academic than
School
athletic?
bukol, you know, that school bukol type. Yeah.
Nerdy.
No, not really.
Geeky, ganon.
No, not really. I think it was just kind of, I don't know how we define normal. No? Parang I go to school, and then if there's if some of our friends invited to a, you know, after school activities, and I go out. So nothing. There was not so much attention to sports actually, but I did engage in in a little bit of bodybuilding at that time, a little bit of swimming, a little bit of running. I remember that.
You look like you're a very thin person when you were
No.
much younger, no?
I was a kid, yes. And then college, ayun, you gain a little bit of muscle here because, the typical, you're growing up, you want to be attractive and things like that. But I think it was only lately that I realized the value of being fit, especially in running. You really have to be light, but not necessarily, losing that strength that you need, that endurance. Because normally people, when they lose a lot of weight, they tend to get weak, right? So you have to maintain that balance in a way.
Okay. So not the lightest, the better, no?
No,
light and energy.
Exactly.
You see. In your family, were there anyone in your family who's very sports-minded?
Wala. I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah. But are you married?
Oh yeah, I'm married.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids. Eldest is 10. Youngest is like 2 years old.
Oh wow.
And I'm 42 now. Wife, Melody Lacanlale.
John is a professional corporate lawyer, no? You used to be a litigation lawyer. Now you're a corporate lawyer.
Yes. I used to work in Manila in a law firm.
Yeah.
For 10 years before I moved into Clark. So I'm now working at Clark Development Corporation.
I see. Okay.
As a corporate lawyer, senior legal officer to be exact.
Okay. Was it in Manila or in Clark when you woke up one day and I want to run? Ganun.
Oh yeah, it was in Manila.
It was in Manila pa.
I remember at that time, it was my cousin who was a very, very strong runner. So he'd like invite me. I mean, Kuya, let's go. Let's join a race. At that time, it was very cheap, and at so many running events at that time. I think maybe swerte na pag merong dalawa in a month, etc.
Oh, okay.
And we get to each other, and then run. They always finish ahead of me until it's like I started loving the sports, improving, etc.
So that was how many years ago?
Oh my gosh.
When you started to run?
I think 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, your cousin was the one who invited you to run. What for your first race? How was your first race?
I was okay. It was
Did
okay.
you finish?
Oo naman.
Ilang kilometers?
10K lang kasi yun eh.
10K lang.
Oo.
Nilalang lang mo lang 10K. For your first race, how much preparation did you do?
I think if you're fit to begin with, you don't have to exert so much effort into training. I
Kasi yung cardio, resistance eh.
Yeah, but
Diba?
but if your goal is just to have fun and then finish it, regardless of the time, I think that's okay.
Okay. Kasi yung mga iba kong friends, they think you have to go through a strenuous
Training
program. You have to lose this much weight, and then you have to prepare for a long time para ka makatapos ng isang marathon.
For a marathon, when you speak of marathon, mahaba to. I mean, it's like 42.195.
I'm sorry. Yung
10K,
mga race lang
short
mo.
distances.
Short distances.
Yeah, in a way, I think it helps. I think the most important thing pagdating sa running is like, especially for someone who's beginning, you really have to find some fun in it.
I see.
And then that's the key there, because if you're running like, for example, 5 or 10K, and then at the end of as soon as you cross the finish line, you feel like wasted. Parang it doesn't feel good, right? So I do agree that you have to respect the distance in terms of train for it a little.
Yeah.
Because by doing so, parang that's the time you make things easier during race day. You're prepared, just like in everything we do. If there's a test, what do? We read up, we review, etc.
Sabi mo kanina, mas mura dati.
Oh, sobra.
What do you mean? Kasi I've never been in a race before, no?
Like
what do you mean na mas mura dati?
You can join a race, like for example, 150 pesos.
Oh, okay.
Now you have to have like at least 500 to 1,000, 2,000 to join a
Totoo?
race. Yes, exactly.
Ikaw na nga makikipag-race, ikaw pa na
yung
mapapagod, ikaw pa magbabayad.
as they say.
Ganun?
Oo.
Okay. Well, anyway, pagbalik po natin mga kaibigan, tatanungin po natin si John kung anong nakukuha niya sa pagsali-sali sa mga races. Magbabalik po ang spotlight.
It's a beautiful night, and you are on spotlight. It's a beautiful night, and you are on spotlight.
Babalik po ang spotlight mga kaibigan with John Lacanlale. Okay, John, tell us about ultra marathon.
Wow.
What is ultra marathon?
All right. Ultra marathon is any distance beyond the marathon distance. So, what is the marathon distance? The marathon distance is 42.195 kilometers. That's the international standards. That's also the same distance they follow in Olympics. Now, typical distance ng ultra marathon are 50 kilometers. You have 80 or the 50 miles. If you're in other countries, they call it 50 miles. And then you have the 100K, 160, and sky's the limit actually.
Wow.
Some even race, would you believe that some even run ultra marathon for as far as 500 kilometers.
500 kilometers?
Just like starting from Luneta to Baguio and back.
Diyos ko po. At
Exactly.
isang ano lang yun?
In one stage.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in one stage.
Walang
But it
upuan
will
yun?
take them several days, of course. It will
Walang
ta-
upuan?
Meron naman.
May upuan. Oh, Diyos ko.
Meron naman.
Actually, ako, interesado ako. Kasi
That's good.
pangarap ko maka-finish na kahit,
Marathon.
yeah, kahit short distance lang.
That's good.
Actually,
Very doable.
yeah, minsan naglalakad ako from here, from San Fernando to Santa Rita.
Wow.
Oh, nilalakad ko yan.
So how far is that?
I don't know. That's about 10 kilometers.
Not bad.
Not bad, no? Ayun. Tapos after kung knockout ako, tulog. Okay. We mentioned about the 2012 Bataan Death March.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
But Bataan Death March, as you know, has its
Historical.
historical background.
Yeah.
So World War II yan.
Yeah.
And then this race was started like 4 years ago. All right. And then I joined the very first edition, the second, the third, and until the 2012, the fourth edition.
Okay. How did you do on the 2012?
2012, that's when I won the 102-kilometer race Bataan Death March.
You
Ultramarathon.
won the 102 Bataan Death March, 102 kilometers. Wow. Mga kaibigan. Grabe.
So-
Alam mo, you know what? Another reason why I'm very excited about this episode is ang dami nating mga televiewers na yung mga kaibigan that are into running.
Yes.
Now, actually, alam mo, pumunta ka nga sa Brenzigel Oval.
Okay.
Ang dami
Exactly. Oo.
Yeah, you've been
Meron.
there?
I've been there, yeah.
At saka sa Clark, ang dami nang tumatakbo ngayon. Anyway, so, how many ran that race, the Bataan Death March?
Well, before we started, around 100, less than 100 runners.
Yes.
And would you believe now that in 2013 edition, next year, it ballooned to 200 plus. I think
Wow.
230 something.
Wow, more than double.
And I think this is the kind of race that you want to go back to and run it again because of its history.
Yes.
And so also from Mariveles, Bataan, it traces the route of the Death
Yes.
March,
Yes.
passing through Tarlac,
Tarlac, yes.
and then San Fernando.
Yes,
And then the
yes.
further there's another version of it that's 160 kilometers. It doesn't stop in San Fernando. It goes to Tarlac pa, Cap O'Donnell.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's how many kilometers?
And that's 160.
160. And you're planning to do that?
I
as well?
joined that also, I think last year, I
Yes.
placed second naman nun.
Wow. Okay, yung mga ganitong march, ang mga ganitong race, may mga prizes?
But on that March, wala eh.
Wala, okay. Pero
You
yung iba meron?
Meron. Rarely na nagbibigay sila.
I see.
I think this is the kind of sports that you really have to be the runners have to be really passionate about this.
Okay. Is that good or bad?
That's good.
It's good.
I think it's really good just like anything in life.
Yeah,
You have to have
yeah.
passion. It's like it
Yeah.
spices things.
And it's not the prize money.
No,
that,
it's not.
that you're,
It's not. It's
Wow, amazing. Okay, now you won the Western States Endurance Run, which was 100 miles, which is equivalent to how many kilometers?
That's, you times it by 1.6, that's
Yes.
160.
160 kilometers.
But this one, this is a trail, but not as much as a road.
I see.
So when you trail, you have,
Ano ibig sabihin ng trail?
trail yan, daraan niya sa bundok yan.
Dadaan sa bundok. Bato-bato.
Oo, trail, forest, etc.
Ah, okay.
So, very hard because of the elevation, how you go up and down, aside from the distance, right? But the scenic view that you're going to see is fantastic.
Okay. How did you get into this American Western States Endurance Run?
Okay, you have to qualify. So that means that there are races or qualifying races that you must be able to, that you should have finished.
Which you did in the Philippines?
I did one. So Western States 2012. I did 2011. I joined a 100-mile trail race, Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc in Europe. And then before that, I ran a qualifying race also in Australia. It's a 100-mile trail race also.
I see. So, pero dun sa Australia and sa Europe, how did you qualify for those?
Okay, you have to have a qualifying race again for that.
For that, okay.
But once you've finished a qualifying race, I think it's makes things easier for the
So
runners.
this is pangatlong international run mo na to. So
Opo.
Australia, Europe,
for 100-mile race, yes.
400-mile race. Okay. How many people, ilang tao at ilang mga bansa ang sumasali dito sa mga ganito?
So yung sa Great North Walks 100 in Australia, konti pa lang kasi it's just starting. But for the Europe, the Ultra UTMB, we call it UTMB,
Ultra
Trail du Mont Blanc.
Du Mont
You
Blanc.
Mont Blanc, right?
Yeah.
That's the highest, second highest region in
Europe.
So that's in Chamonix, France.
Oo.
This one mas marami. 65 countries.
65 countries. And you're the only Filipino?
Dalawa kami nun.
Dalawa kayo?
Dalawa
I
kami.
see. Okay, dun sa Western State Endurance Run,
Itong year?
Itong year na to.
Ako lang po.
ikaw
From
lang
the
naging
Philippines.
isang Filipino. And you finished it. Ilan ang sumaling bansa dito?
For Western States, I think there were about 400 plus
400 plus
runners. And
from how many countries?
I think mas konti yata to. I'm not sure, no?
But 400 runners.
Yes, oo.
Wow.
400 plus runners. And then less than of that finished it. I think 300 plus something
I see.
nakatapos na out of 400 plus.
Less than 300s finished.
No, a little bit for 400. I think 320 something lang.
Ang nakatapos. At ikay po natapos ninyo ang race.
Kasawa po ng Diyos nakatapos naman.
Nabuhay ka pa, no?
Buhay pa rin.
Walang injury after 160-kilometer trail race? Walang injury?
I think one of the life-changing moment sa race na to itong Western States because I almost went blind.
Oh, wow.
Because of right now, every time I think about it, parang it makes me feel like, it's like
So you felt how it is to be blind
almost
in your
blind.
life?
Yes, like I lost 50 to 80% of my vision.
Oh my God.
And for someone running a trail race, you have to have that, that sharp vision, eyesight.
Kasi maraming mga obstacles.
Exactly. Kung road lang yan, I think it's
Pwede pa,
manageable.
Pwede kang,
Because it's flat. But this one, you have to maneuver, you have to
Yes.
manage the terrain. So that's it.
Paano ka muntik ng mabulag?
I think because of the altitude. And at that,
Altitude and
and
pagod?
the dryness of the cold weather.
I see.
It was very, very cold that time. We didn't realize that it would be that very, very cold. So when we reached that 8,000 elevation something plus, ayun na, it rained, etc. And I think it had a bad effect on me to the point that it's like it started gradually na lumabo yung mata.
Wow.
I
Anyway,
think-
pagbalik natin, John, tatanungin natin kung how long you have to prepare for
Okay.
you had to prepare for the Western State. Kasi si Manny Pacquiao nag-acclimatize pa yan, di ba? Pupunta muna sa isang country and then magti-train siya doon kasi iba yung weather, di ba? Iba yung lamig, iba yung humidity,
Exactly.
iba yung hangin and everything, no? Magbabalik po ang spotlight, mga kaibigan.
Kapampangan, it's a beautiful night, and you are on spotlight. It's a beautiful night, and you are on spotlight.
Alright, John, si Manny Pacquiao, alam natin, world champion si Manny, no? But bago siya lumaban, pupunta muna siya kung saan country siya lalaban at mag-acclimatize.
Yes, yeah.
Pag sinabi po nating acclimatize, mga kaibigan, parang sasanayin ng katawan sa isang lugar kung saan siya lalaban, no? So, kasi ang iba yung klima natin dito, doon mas malamig, iba ang humidity, na po, at maraming mga bagay-bagay na pwedeng iba dito sa atin. Ikaw naman, John, paano ka nag-acclimatize?
I think for this race, Western States, hindi ko nagawa yan eh. Because I flew in to California 3 days before lang.
Oh boy.
And it was very hard because una-una yung jet lag mo.
Oo.
And I never set a foot in the course. I mean, hindi ko alam kung ano yung tatakbuhan ko.
Surprise, ganun.
Well, it's part of the, the suspense in a way. But had I have a better preparation and time, I think it would be reasonable and very wise to get in the place, the place rather very
Kasi
early.
normally, like ako, it will take me about 2 weeks, no, bago ako maka-acclimatize. Kasi tutulugan mo lang yung 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Kasi, because the jet lag, no?
Exactly.
And after that, doon ka palang nabubuhay unti-unti, no?
That's true.
Wow. So, for this, kasi mabigat ito, that's 160 Western States. How did you prepare?
I think I have a friend, it's like, I always, it reminds me of what he told me once. Billy said, respect the distance, no? And for someone joining a race like this, of this length, and this difficulty, you really have to prepare very hard. In terms of, it goes, years back. You set a goal, ito ba goal ko? And then you prepare for it.
So, 10 years in your case?
Not really. Siguro mga few years back lang.
Yeah. But then kasi started your training 10 years ago, di ba? Yeah. Your marathon career.
Short distance, and then eventually you graduate to a
all
higher
those
distance.
10 years, added up to
Exactly, I agree. So it takes years actually. But for this way, specifically training, you really have to train on climb mountains. Mount Right here is very near. That's a very, very good training ground.
Yes.
And then you have also the Miamit.
Yes.
Where there's a Miamit Falls.
Yes, in Porac. Yes.
Porac.
I've done that. I mean, a few times.
That's good, right?
In a riot, yeah. I've done it many times. So.
Okay, so that's a good training ground.
Ayun po mga kaibigan, wag na kayong pong lumayo, no? Marami po dito sa Pampanga pwede nating gamitin sa ating training. Katulad ng sabi ni John, ayan po ang Arayat, Mount Arayat. Dadaan po sa Ayala. Ayala. Barangay Ayala, no?
Oo, Ayala.
Tsaka
I think Mabalacat, that the Magalang side, that's a very, very route.
Yes. Magalang. Friendly route yun kasi may trail talaga, hindi ka maliligaw na po. At saka, ang Miamit Falls po, dadaan po kayo sa Sapangwak, no?
Sapangwak.
Yan. So, marami po tayong pwedeng pag-trainingan dyan. Anyway, alimbawa yung mga nanonood sa atin, mga 50 years old na, pwede pa ba?
Naku, mas malalakas pa nga yung mga yan eh.
Talaga? Pwede? 50 years old?
Because normally, you would be surprised, no? Most of the ultra runners are, average age nila is between 40 years old, is around 40 years old.
Wow.
Oh, you know why? Because they can handle more pressure. They can handle more, yung threshold ng pain nila is higher as compared to younger.
Talaga? Ito ba yung kaibigan natin, sabihin, medyo overweight ng konti. Kakayanin niya yun? Kakayanin sa training?
In fact, that's the best way to lose weight in the first place.
Sa bagay, no?
At and when you into, doesn't matter whether you're running or something, when you commit yourself to it, parang you take care of what you eat, everything you do. I mean, it's because you have a goal, so it helps a lot.
At saka yung discipline, no?
Exactly. It comes.
Okay. Nasabi mo kanina, ang ganda-ganda ng view dun sa sa trail, dun sa Western States. Tell us about it.
Wow. I mean, it's like it's very scenic in terms of like.
Parang poster.
Exactly. Parang, how can I describe that? I mean, parang tumingin doon sa mga National Geographic na Discovery, ganon, yung sa mga
pangkalendaryo.
Beautiful, really simply beautiful.
So what's the difference between running? May ano ang bonus mo pag maganda yung view pag nagte-train?
I think makes things easier in terms of hindi ka masyado napapagod. I think there's some kind of a magic when you do it. Parang tayo humans are really meant to be in those places because it's very, very natural. I mean, for example, in my case, if I walk in the mall for like 2 hours, I think I'm gonna die. But if you take me to mountains and other things, I can stay there for like a day, more than 2 days.
Kahit naglalakad lang.
And I'm
forever,
okay.
No? Talaga?
I'm okay.
Talaga, wow. Have you been to Nabuklod?
No, I'm
Florida Blanca. Oh my God, you should try Florida Blanca Mountains. Sobrang galing.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I haven't been there.
Okay. Anyway, you've done international trips, no? Okay, we know na mahal ito, no? Mahal pumunta sa iba't ibang bansa, makipag-compete. At sa mga international races ba na pinuntahan mo, merong financial prizes?
Unfortunately, right now, at the level of the sports now, ultra running, ultra marathon here, hindi siya ganun kaano.
I see.
So basically, I really fund my trip abroad with some generous sponsors from
I see.
From some sectors.
I see. Okay, yan kasi tatanungin ko sa iyo kasi kung baga sa passion, wala kang problema doon, nandiyan na lahat, no?
Opo.
Ang training mo and your disciplines there, no? Pero yung funding, importante 'yon, eh. How do you get it? Sino yung mga generous sponsors na to?
All right. Of course, gusto kong pasalamatan yung Clark Development Corporation.
Oh yes, okay.
Now headed by President Eduardo Oban Jr. Okay. And then there are 3 very...
Ang galing naman ng Clark. Talagang sinuportahan ka ng Clark.
Very kind CDC Board of Directors. Honrado, Villanueva, and Mendoza. And of course, the MIA President, Luciano.
Yes.
He was very, very helpful as well. And then I have also, sino po ba? Can I see my notes?
Sure. Yes.
You have also Attorney James Roldan. He's also a runner. And of course, Governor Pineda.
Oh, wow.
Governor, the local government of Pampanga.
Sa sports and arts and culture, yeah.
And then, of course, yung friend ko sa in the States, Rick Gaston. Although not financially, but he helped me in a way. He was my pacer, by the way. He was the one who guided me and make sure that I finished the race.
Oh, wow. Anyway, importante yon.
And some of the friends na tumulong din.
How did you convince them?
Well, I think...
pumunta ako sa California, I'm joining a race, ganyan.
Oh, that's a difficult part. Especially if it's, you're soliciting sponsorship from public corporations.
Yes,
Unlike private, it doesn't go through a lot of processes. Pag dito may pahirapan ng konti. But just the same, I think they're very, very helpful in a way.
Well, I think major factor is nanalo ka na ng mga major races dito sa Philippines. So, it was easier.
I think it was easier. Anyways, you have to package yourself and make sure that the person asking for support is very, very credible. So I really plan to win some of the races just to be able to, to fund and get sponsorship from the sectors.
Dito sa region natin, sa Central Luzon and in Pampanga, dito sa center, no? Kumusta ang marathon dito? Kumusta yung following? Kumusta yung support ng local government? Kumusta yung support ng mga private sector sa running and the public in general? Sasagutin niyo po yan pagbalik po ng Spotlight.
Man o Kapampangan, it's a beautiful night and you are on Spotlight. It's a beautiful night and you are on Spotlight.
Okay, John, kumusta naman ang mga races dito sa atin, dito sa Central Luzon?
I think it's picking up. The sport is picking up in terms of, like for example, this coming July, there's going to be a Milo qualifying race here.
Wow, okay.
So, but that's not as frequent yung mga races being held like in Metro Manila. But it's definitely here. Some of the stronger runners are located here in Central Luzon.
Talaga?
Exactly.
Wow. Do you think magkakaroon tayo ng trail? Pwede like halimbawa, Miamit Falls Trail race
Meron.
or something, ha?
There's a race.
Miamit Falls?
I'm the race director.
Oh my God.
That's
Really?
a Clark Miamit Falls Trail Ultra. That's 60K and 80 kilometer. It started last year. And the selling point there is the Miamit Falls.
Miamit
Beautiful,
Falls.
beautiful
Oh, yes,
place.
yes. So,
They pass there.
okay. Oh my God.
They have to pass there. Otherwise, it's no use. They have to see the falls.
They have to see the falls. Kasi very few people have seen the falls.
Exactly.
Di ba? Very, very few. I'm also promoting Miamit Falls in Porac. Anyway, do you think more people, the local government and the private sector should support all these activities?
I think they should. It's sad to say now we're lagging behind sa mga from other countries in terms of the support, the community, etc., and even the local government.
So anong pwede natin gawin?
I think that they should, yung mga race organizers should have the courage to approach some of the possible sponsors, whether they're
Aggressive,
public or private.
More aggressive selling.
Yeah, and in a way that promote the races. But I think the most important thing is you have to involve the community as well. And that's a tricky part.
Okay. Involve the community. How do we involve them? Okay, what can you say kung ano ang magiging benefit sa lahat?
Okay,
no?
for example, because I'm a race director, I also hold races, right? Like for example, there's a race in Clark, just for instance. So if there are runners coming from Manila, where do they stay? They stay there.
Yes.
The hotel benefits.
Restaurant.
The restaurants.
Shopping.
Yes. So it cascades down to the establishments
may
there.
ripple effect sa community.
Exactly. So doon nag-umpisa yan. If they see that it's viable, if they can offer discount in terms of the runners staying in their hotel or eating in their hotel, and that's where it starts.
Wow, amazing. And in terms of the personal, individual benefits to people,
I think running is still one of the cheapest form of sports.
Oh yes.
You just have to have you just have the rubber. Some even wear barefoot now.
Barefoot na. Uso ngayon ng barefoot running, di ba?
Exactly. And I think in terms of trying to lose weight, napakabilis nito. I'm telling you, Andy, this is very, very the fastest way to lose weight.
I see. And even better, kasi kung may trail ka, kasi sa sightseeing ka pa, there's nothing
exactly.
like feeding your soul.
And less pollution.
Less pollution, correct.
And then,
clear up your lungs.
Exactly. And have you ever thought why we have two legs?
Why?
You see? Because we have to use them. That's a means of transportation.
What are your plans other than this coming up Miamit Falls?
November.
What are your
November
goals?
25.
What are your goals? Ano pa yung mga goals ni John?
I think for Western States 100, last June 23, I think hopefully we'll see the Philippine flag there.
Oh yeah.
So because it's finally a Filipino finally, a local Filipino finally able to finish it. I'm also thinking of joining races next year. This is a big one. I think it's in Badwater.
Saan yun?
It's in Death Valley. It's very, very hot there, and it's 135 miles. It's 200 plus kilometers.
Oh my God.
And then there's another one in Greece that I'm planning to. No local Filipino has ever finished this one. It's the Spartathlon. It's I think 250 kilometer race also.
Oh my God. Okay.
So these are the races that I'm really been eyeing for several years now.
Grabe, believe ako sa iyo. Oh my God. I mean, just listening to the numbers of these kilometers. Kasi Randy, I think we should at least start, no? Mag-umpisa tayo sa 3 kilometers. Randy, ano? Okay, we'll make that a pact with you, Mr. Lacanlale. Anyway, so wow. How does it feel?
Well, they say
How
it's,
does it feel to be finishing all the races? Anong pakiramdam ng isang nakatapos ng 160 kilometers na akyat baba ka sa mga bundok and carrying the flag of the Philippines?
wow. It's, I think, first and foremost, very, very emotional. Every time I think about it, it's like, there's so much pride in it, you know, it's like,
Okay.
and
Okay, may mga question, no? May mga moments kasi, di ba, pag nanonood tayo ng mga races, kita mo, after nilang, nag-iiyakan sila. Did you experience that?
almost, almost, yeah, in a way, I mean,
Did you ever give up? May mga times ba nag-give up ka,
I think-
you know, halfway through the race?
I think if I wouldn't admit, I think it won't be, I won't be true to myself.
Yes,
no? I
yes.
think because of the difficulty of this race, the challenge it presents, there will come a point really in it's very normal in ultra running. Now there will come a point, they call it lowest of lows.
Okay.
I mean, it's like you're down there and you
Yes.
just have to figure out how to, you know, get back and
Okay.
keep on moving. Meron naman dito.
May moments.
Meron talagang. Marami yan, marami.
Okay, we're talking about the low points. For 10 years of running, what is your lowest point?
I think in ultra running, I think 100 miles really, you have to give your 100%
I see.
physically, psychologically, and sometimes I even pray.
Yes, yes.
We even
yes.
pray because
Where do you get it? Where do you get all that strength of many different kinds of strength to finish that?
I think for Western states, I think the Philippine flag, the
Really?
Filipino running community, the Pinoy runners.
Really?
Because when I reached yung lowest points ko, all I thought about is I have to finish this one
For your country?
for my country. Everybody knows there, even the running community here, they knew that I would be going there to represent the country. And that I took that to, brought that to with myself. And sabi ko, hindi pwedeng dito matapos to.
Oh, wow.
Regardless of the difficulty.
Wow.
So there has to be a sense of pride. I mean, kung wala yun, I think everyone would give up. I mean, what's the point, right? You
Yeah.
don't win a race. There's no cash prize, etc. But if you have that in you, that's like, I'm not comparing myself with Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is there, you know. It's like that's one of the reasons why so many people idolizes him because
Ano
of that
talaga
pride.
na, triumph of the spirit. Basically, it's really a spiritual journey, no?
It's not so much of physical, eh.
Yes,
I
no?
think it's the mental and the spiritual aspect, psychological as well.
Wow. You know what? Ang taas po ng energy level ng ating conversation, mga kaibigan. Anyway, John, you know, I'd like you to talk to our televiewers, you know, ang mga ating mga kabataan who are or planning to join races in the future, or
Okay.
well, not even thought of joining races, and your message for them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you have to find time to, you know, join a race. I would recommend start with the 2.5, 5K short distances. You know, feel the race. You know how is it? And if you like it, and then mag-join sila, because some of the races now are very, you know, it's like conducive to joining them in terms of after you cross the finish line, may makukuha kang, you know, dyan, swag na, we call it swag, eh. Meron kang medal dyan, meron kang finisher t-shirt, and that's something you wear, you know, after the race, you know, even in the mall. So, yun yung mga, dyan, mga selling points nila. But beyond that, I think the most important thing is health. I think it's very, it's documented that it's really good for us, you know, as humans, and with the kind of lifestyle that we have now, I think it's very important that we have to engage in some kind of physical activity. It doesn't matter if it's non-running related, no. The point is like we have to move, and especially now that the health now, if you see, parang something that we have to take care of.
Yes, yeah. Maraming health issues ang mga Pilipino, so I think running is one of the answers.
Exactly.
No? Anyway, then thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for coming.
One of these
My
days, we'll
pleasure.
invite you again so you can
Sige
tell
po.
us more stories about your running career, and that so that Randy and I could tell you that we have finished our 5-kilometer race. That right, Randy? Bago po tayo magtapos mga kaibigan, may gustong pasalamatan ng ating panauhin na si John Lacanlale. John?
Oh yeah, Andy, thank you so much. No, gusto ko rin pasalamatan, of course, yung my family. Some of the relatives who prayed for my safe race. No, and of course, yung my colleague in the CDC, si Boss Sonny Lopez. Thank you, Sonny.
Kang Sonny Lopez, thank you po sa pagsuporta nyo. Anyway, mga kaibigan, gusto kong pasalamatan si Drew Gabriel sa aking kasuotan. Mga kaibigan, ang buhay natin ay isang walang katapusang pagtakbo. Gaganda lamang ito kung may direksyon at determinasyon ito. Maaari tayong magpahinga pero huwag tayong hihinto ng tuluyan hanggang hindi natin nararating ang ating minimithing paroroonan. Siguradong mapapagod tayo, madadapa, magagalusan at masusugatan. Pero ang mahalaga ay nakahanda tayong tumayo. Ituloy ang laban sa buhay at tahakin ang landas patungo sa minimithing tagumpay. Naway marami tayong natutunan sa natatanging pagtakbo ni Atty. John Lacanlale. Hanggang sa muli, ako po si Andy Alvis. Magandang gabi po.
Masayang kwentuhan sa